Minimalism has been a crave for the past 2 or 3 years that I've been on YouTube. I find myself oftentimes sucked into watching minimalism videos for countless hours because the peace and the comfort that it offers really makes me feel at peace with my thinking and my thought processes. So recently in the past year or so, I would say I have been very intentional with applying this minimalism concept, not just to the things that I own, but also to my finances as well. And from those experiences, it led me to want to create this video for you guys, which is basically going to cover a minimalist approach to finances and show you how you can transform your finances and save more money with less effort. So if you haven't met already, my name is Anfernee. I make videos about personal finance, investing, and side hustles. And if you think you'll find value in this video, go ahead and tap that like button for your boy. I really do enjoy it when I see that like number goes up, and it also helps the channel out a little bit. But what exactly is financial minimalism? We can kind of sort through what the other minimalism approach is, where you get rid of all your stuff and you only own 1 or 2 things and you basically have a napkin for a blanket. We already know what that is. But Anfernee, what is financial minimalism? And what this meant for me as a financial minimalist, it basically meant simplifying my finances and focusing on what truly mattered. And also going about being intentional about eliminating the things that don't truly provide value to my life. So basically it's going to be all about aligning your spending with your financial goals. And this could mean different things for different people. For some people, it could be saving up to buy a house. For others who are on a journey like I am right now, this could be to become debt free and have a debt payment journey, or it could simply mean investing in your future in some form or another. But with any of these goals in mind, the first thing that you want to do to be a financial minimalist is to start to declutter your expenses. And just like you would have a yard sale to declutter your home, just like you would start to clean up around the house, clean up all the dust, do the laundry, do the dishes, the same way that you would declutter your home, you should go about decluttering your finances in a similar aspect. And a way to do this is to hone in and start to get rid of any unnecessary subscriptions, services, or habits that you build up over time that start to drain money from your wallet. And here's exactly how I would do it step by step. Step 1, I would review my bank statements and credit card statements from the last 3 months to see if there's anything that I'm paying for that I don't actually use. I've seen people paying for airline Wi-Fi from flights they took 6 months ago and never even noticed, or even subscription services like Netflix or Hulu that they barely use, or sometimes it could be a gym membership that you just haven't gotten around to starting yet that you would be better off canceling instead of paying for it every single month. And going through your credit card statements and your bank statements line by line will probably be the best option to do this, because this way you can catch every single transaction that's taking money out of your wallet. Do you really need Apple Music and Spotify at the same time, or can one of them suffice? Are you spending way too much money eating out than you are on groceries? And if so, you can recognize that habit and start to be intentional about what you are going to do about it. And as you're reviewing your bank statement, step 2 would be to identify any recurring expenses. So these are the things that I just talked about, like the monthly streaming subscription, the airline Wi-Fi, anything that's on auto pay that is just taking money out of your account that you don't even use and know about. You need to identify and then move on to step 3, which is going to be to cancel anything that doesn't add real value to your life. Now, I can't personally tell you what adds value to your life, but if you analyze your own life and actually see what is providing you value, I'm pretty sure you can find some ways to cut back some fat and actually save a couple of $100s simply by reviewing what you are spending money on. But as a financial minimalist, it isn't all about not spending money. It isn't all about canceling subscriptions. What I have found to be very impactful in my financial minimalist journey is having the mindset of prioritizing experiences over things. And this has everything to do with you just shifting your focus. Shifting your focus instead of just acquiring new things like new cars, new clothes, new shoes, and instead looking towards new experiences that can enrich your life over time. There has been research studies that have shown that spending money on experiences like trips, classes, vacations, or even simple dinners and date nights has proven to provide more long-term happiness than spending money on physical items does. And then at the same time, when you spend less money on acquiring things in general, you also have the ability to save more money over the long term. And for me personally, this was something that was definitely a big adjustment in my life. It is not that I've always liked to acquire a lot of things. I've been wearing all black shirts since the beginning of this YouTube channel, and my wardrobe really doesn't have that much variety, but I was never one to spend a lot of money on experiences until me and my family actually started to take some trips, and I noticed an immediate enrichment in my life because of taking simple trips with my family. Whether it was a trip to Dallas, Texas, or to Kentucky, looking back on those experiences has provided me with far more happiness than buying things like cars or clothes ever could. But at the same time, there's another layer to financial minimalist that you must master, and that is going to be the concept of the less is more budget. So usually, even when I talk about budgeting, it can very quickly get complicated. And when you start talking about income, revenue, expenses, taxes, budgets, for the everyday person, this could become so overwhelming that they don't even want to start about thinking about budgeting in the first place. So for those who are struggling to keep and maintain a budget, budget, I would definitely recommend considering the less is more budget, because instead of focusing on categories and numbers, it really only focuses on 3 main areas. And those 3 areas are going to be classified as needs, which are going to be things like rent, groceries, and utilities; savings, which is going to be when you pay yourself back out of your paycheck in the form of savings or investing; and then the third category is going to be wants, which is going to be an area where you allocate a small amount of money to things that bring you joy. And because this is going to be a small amount dollar wise, you want to be really intentional, as I use that word a lot in this video, about what you choose to spend your money on in this area. And when you break it down into these 3 categories, budgeting actually becomes a lot simple. One of the easiest budgets that you can have with these 3 categories is going to be the 50-30-20 rule, where on a monthly basis you spend up to 50% of your income on needs, 30% on savings, and then 20% on wants. And as you start to break down your current living expenses, if they don't fit within the 50-30-20 budget, you can then decide how you're going to adjust your lifestyle so that you get within those means. For example, if your current mortgage puts your needs at 65%, then you may need to look into downsizing so that you can save more money in other areas. And going into the next layer of financial minimalism is going to be how you actually choose to invest your money. And I think that over time, investing has gotten way too complicated, and it is to the point, kind of like budgeting, where most people don't even start doing it because they don't know where to start. And I have always been a proponent here on the channel that you want to invest in quality and not quantity, meaning that you don't have to pick individual stocks to be an investor. You don't have to go and find the next Tesla or the next Amazon or the next Google. But if you simply just invested in a broad market S&P 500 index fund every single month consistently for 20 or 30 years, at the end of that period of time, you would have compounded your initial principal substantially, and you could even be a millionaire if you stayed at it. I have always been a proponent of slow growth investing. I don't believe too much in trading in the stock market, and if you look back at pretty much all of my videos, a majority of my money has always been in the S&P 500, which I consistently plan to do for the next 30 or 40 years. And I want you to understand that minimalism, and especially financial minimalism, does not prevent you from ever spending money. It simply just means to spend your money wisely, to be intentional about where you spend it. And I personally believe that investing in index funds is one of the prime examples of where you can invest in quality instead of a large quantity of things. You get diversification in the entire stock market with not a lot of effort, because you can just buy one thing and get coverage over all the things in the stock market. But I think that the very last step that you can take on your journey to financial minimalism would be to detox your mindset from consumerism. And that could simply mean ignoring all the shopping ads that you see, ignoring the impulse to buy things as soon as you see it, or get a new version of something simply because the company decided to come out with a new one. If the things that you own work and work well for you, a detoxing from consumerism allows you to be at peace with what you have if it works, and only replace or add things that add value to your life. And if you do this, you will be amazed at how much money you begin to save simply by ignoring those ads that you constantly see and that you probably saw at some point in this video. But with that being said, that is my minimalist approach to saving money and how it affects my personal finances. And at the end of the day, all of this is just about making your finances simple and easy to understand so that you have more control and more ownership, and also more accountability about where your money is going. If you found this video helpful or found any kind of value in this video, then tap that like button for your boy, as well as subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content like this. I make videos like this 3 times a week, so I'll see you in the next one, guys.